heavy lifting being done by the banks today, and we are back above the 17,700 print. How's it looking?
Absolutely, Aisha. So it's just about banks today, both private sector banks as well as the PSU names, which are looking extremely strong today. Momentum has come back into the banking stock. So, over the last 3 or 4 days, we were looking out for the banking index as being a bit of an, in a consolidative mode, not major trends emerging from the banking stocks. But then today, both from the private sector as well as from the PSU banking names, there are strong candidates which have given breakouts. ICICI Bank specifically post results, I think, is done quite strong for itself, come back about the 900 level. SBI is leading the charge for the PSU banking stocks. You have the mid-cap end of the banking names like of City Union Bank, etc., which are also looking very strong and charged up. So that's generally an indication that we may see a further leg of up move for the banking stocks as well as for the bank Nifty overall. So the bias remains positive, and 17,500, which we flagged off earlier, remains to be a strong support even on a day like today when the indices opened with a bit of a flattish kind of a drift on the Nifty. Those are days as well as those are levels where traders should actually go for a contra buy.
Okay, contra buy is something that the traders could indulge in, but take a look at some of these railway stocks as well. Rail Vikas Nigam is sitting with a gain of 11%. You also have Indian Railway Finance Corporation, which is up a good 5%. And then a lot of names from the PSU banking space like IndusInd Bank and even SBI for that matter are up in the trading session. But let's address some of the stocks and news before we go to Nooresh and Rahul as well. We have HDFC Life, of course, wherein we have been talking about how the RBI has allowed HDFC Bank to own over 50% stake, so that supply pressure goes away, at least the overhang with respect to that. In terms of earnings reaction, Yes Bank is a bit tepid given the fact asset quality is lower than what Street was expecting, and even the management says that the 1% return on asset target that they had for FY24 looks a bit more difficult. Now the target has been shifted to FY25, so 3% cut there. IndusInd Bank we highlighted already with respect to earnings, and then of course earnings tomorrow is expected with respect to Tata Consumers, and today later we'll get Persistent Systems. That too is holding up with a gain of 3% ahead of earnings. The margins are expected to remain flat, but it's a dollar revenue which is expected to jump up by 4%, and the new business deals are expected around $200 to $250 million. And for Tata Consumers tomorrow, the revenue is expected to jump by a good 10 to 11%, led by the India food business, and the pricing-led growth is something that should augur well for the company as well. Nooresh, let me come to you and ask you about some of these FMCG plays. Tata Consumer ahead of the earnings, Nestle as well as ITC, which is sitting close to the 52-week high and life high levels. Any name that you would want to recommend from the FMCG pack?
So it's a tough one to call the trends here. Tata Consumer drifted from 820 down to 690. Today it is making a comeback. Say the recent swing highs around 720 watt levels. If it can sustain above that, that would be a confirmation of a small trend change. That would be a trade wherein it could go to 780. So Tata Consumer looks okay. Nestle has a bunch of resistances around 21,000 levels. So would wait out. It's already moved up quickly in the last 1 month or so. The only name which still looks promising in the FMCG space is Godrej Consumer, which has shown a slow and steady move after the breakout above 950 level. So on dips, Godrej Consumer would be the top pick.